Oh man, when we started the church, I was so shy and very insecure, did not feel confident in myself or my abilities, felt I had married a superstar. I was just an ordinary woman. He should have married a superstar, I was not. I taught the kids, if you read my testimony, I taught the children at church because they didn't know if I got the story backwards. Now, if I taught adults, they might know, kids wouldn't care, so it was a safe place to hang out. I didn't serve kids because I was good with kids, it's just it was a safe place to be. But I was the older Christian woman at 26. You know, in this church plant, I was, even though I wasn't physically older than a lot of other women, I was the oldest Christian, because I'd been a Christian since I was 8. So all these other women were looking to me for spiritual growth and guidance, and everybody expected that I knew how to teach the Bible and all this stuff, all things I didn't really know how to do and didn't feel confident doing. And, you know, if you know my testimony, I was going to one of our early women's events where I'd been asked to speak, and was just terrified and just feeling so sorry for myself because, you know, I'm whining saying, God, you know, why didn't you give Rick somebody who knew the Bible better than me? Why didn't you give somebody who was prettier than me? Why didn't you give him somebody who was more talented? You know, why didn't you do all these things? You know, I am not the right person to be able to do this job. And I turned on the radio because I was just so upset and I needed to distract myself before I went and actually taught at this little Bible study. So I turned on the radio, Christian radio station, and it was an old song that some of you may not have even heard now. It's called Ordinary People. And, you know, the words are just like, you know, God chooses ordinary people. He chooses people just like you and me who are willing to give him their all because their little becomes much and it's placed in the master's hands, roughly the verses out of John chapter 6, and the little boy and the fish. And that was one of those life-changing moments for me because I realized that I was an ordinary person and that God had chosen to make me an ordinary person. He could have made me, you know, one of those brainiacs. He could have made me Miss America. He could have made me this incredible athlete. He could have made me this Bible. I mean, he could have made me differently, but he made me the way he did for a reason. And that he would get more glory by me giving to him what to me was very small, little lunch. And trust that he would do whatever he wanted to with it. And so for me, it was a life-changing moment. I will never forget that day because it was the day that I began to accept and celebrate that I was an ordinary person, but that I had the opportunity to bring my ordinariness to him and then let him do what he wanted to do. And I discovered out of that, I began to take more and more little speaking engagements within our church. You know, 5 women here, 6 women there. I mean, we're talking really little things. And I quickly discovered that I think I have a gift here. But it was really small, it was really little, I was scared to death. I didn't know how to do a Bible study, I didn't know how to prepare my own message, I knew nothing. I just realized that there was something that happened when I did it, that even though it terrified me, I liked it. And so I began to study and train myself. I went to Florence Littauer may still have it, something called CLASS, Christian Leaders and Speakers Seminars. And I went and I learned how to put together a message. And I studied from my husband. He's been my best teacher. He taught me how to organize my thoughts. And then I just began to practice and practice. I mean, I would take everything that came down the road that might possibly give me an opportunity to develop this nascent little gift that I thought might be there. And then people started saying, you know, I really enjoyed when you taught the Bible last week because it really touched my heart. I'm like, really? Okay, God, maybe I am hearing it. Maybe not only do I like it, but this is what you want me to do. And but I still wasn't very confident. And it got to, you know, I would speak, but I wouldn't speak if Rick was even in the same county. Wouldn't even speak, okay? He couldn't even be in town. And then I grew to where I could speak. He could be on the campus, but he couldn't be anywhere near the room where I was speaking. And then it morphed to I could speak in the same building he was in. And then it just kept ending. I could speak in the same auditorium, but he had to be backstage, you know. And then it got to be, okay, I could be in the same room, and he can sit on the stage with me. And then it was, oh, we're going to teach together. How fun is that? So it was a period of years of just continuing to take risks, continuing to develop what I saw might be a spiritual gift, believing that it is what God had asked me to do, so that today, honestly, it is my favorite thing to do. I don't get nervous. I can speak to thousands. I can speak to famous people. I can sit and have a one-on-one. I'm using the gift God gave me, but I've developed it over a lifetime. And so for any of you, not everybody has to speak, but it's just the pattern is there. The pattern of you figured out whatever it is that God has called you and asked you to do, and you just keep developing it, believing that He's going to use you and He's going to give you the confidence to do whatever it is He's asked you to do.